All right, so you've really gone all in on this one, huh? Installation guides, configuration docs, even some developer notes on billing and revenue management.
Yeah.
Color me impressed. Looks like you're building a rocket, not just sending an invoice.
It does seem like you're trying to grasp the entire ecosystem
Right.
from the customer-facing side
Yeah.
to the nitty-gritty technical details. We even spotted deep dives on specific features,
Oh, yeah.
like rated event loading and re-rating. Now that's getting into the weeds.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We'll hit those key concepts for you,
Sure.
but also point out some of those gotchas
Yeah,
and unexpected connections that we found really fascinating as we went through all this material.
absolutely.
So first things first, let's
Okay.
set the stage.
Okay.
Billing and revenue management, or BRM as it's often called,
Yeah.
is essentially the central nervous system
Right.
of any business that deals with complex products or services.
Yeah, think like telecommunications,
Okay.
utilities, subscription
Oh,
services.
got it.
Anywhere, usage has to be tracked,
Right.
and bills need to be sent out accurate.
And it's not just sending invoices, right?
Right.
I'm seeing stuff in here about collections, revenue recognition,
Exactly.
integration with general ledger systems. It's a whole,
It's a whole financial ecosystem.
whole financial ecosystem.
A robust BRM system is about managing the entire life cycle of a customer's interaction with a company
Okay,
from a financial perspective.
got it.
And what's so interesting is how BRM touches so many different parts of a business.
I see that.
It has to keep customers happy
Right.
while also making sure the money comes in correctly.
Yeah, speaking of getting things right, you've included a ton of installation and configuration guides in your stack.
Mm-hmm.
You're clearly not skipping the groundwork, which is smart.
It's smart.
I see a lot about database setup,
Mm.
security configurations,
Yeah.
even managing those wallet location settings
Oh, yeah.
for secure passwords. It's
Important.
crucial to get that foundation right.
A bit.
If your database isn't set up correctly or security protocols are misconfigured, you're setting yourself up for a world of pain down the line.
We noticed Oracle DB mentioned quite a bit.
Okay.
Seems like it's the go-to choice for a lot of BRM implementations,
Yeah.
with options for multi-schema systems and table spaces for extra flexibility.
And those wallet location configurations,
Yeah.
those are like the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah,
Everything needs to be able to access those secure passwords.
right.
And let's just say I've seen firsthand what happens when those configurations are off. It's not pretty.
Not pretty at all.
So attention to detail is key here.
Absolutely. A smooth installation and configuration process minimizes downtime and sets the stage for accurate data right from the start.
Okay.
And speaking of accurate data, let's talk about the human side of the equation, your customers.
Okay.
You've included user manuals for billing care and business operations center,
Yeah.
which are all about managing those customer interactions effectively.
Yeah, these manuals dive into a lot of the hands-on stuff.
They do.
There are tools for searching records, adding to batches,
Right.
even settling disputes.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's a real emphasis on striking that balance
There is.
between automation and actual human interaction when dealing with customers.
You're right. It's not all ones and zeros.
Right.
The source material even gets into collections scenarios,
Really?
and those promise to pay agreements.
Interesting.
Clearly, there's a delicate balance between using technology to streamline things
Yeah.
and maintaining that human touch.
You know, it reminds me of that saying,
What's that?
people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Oh, yeah.
And that applies to billing too, right?
Right.
You can have the most sophisticated system in the world,
Right.
but if you're not treating your customers fairly and respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
it's all for nothing.
Absolutely. And it looks like these BRM systems have some interesting features for handling different customer situations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see things like sharing groups and profile sharing,
Okay.
which allow for flexible billing arrangements
Got it.
for families or businesses.
Ah, so you could have like a family plan for mobile phones
Oh, wait.
or a business with multiple departments under a single account.
Exactly.
BRM can handle all those different scenarios.
It can.
That's pretty cool.
And this brings up a really important question
Okay.
that's worth thinking about.
What's that?
How do you design a BRM system that keeps customers happy
Mm-hmm.
while also making sure the business is collecting revenue efficiently? It seems like there's this constant tension there.
It's a tightrope walk for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about getting the system up and running
Wow.
and how it handles the customer side of things.
Hmm.
But what about the money itself? You've got some pretty dense material on taxes, discounts,
Oh, yeah.
and revenue recognition.
This is where
This is where the rubber really meets the road.
this is where things can get really complex.
I bet.
Tax configuration alone is a beast,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you're dealing with different regional rules. Right.
And trying to stay compliant.
Makes sense.
The source material even mentions specific configuration files,
Really?
like pin.conf and dmvertex.
Okay.
Those are probably essential for anyone setting up the system.
And then you've got all the different discounting and pricing models, tiered pricing, volume-based discounts.
So many.
There are so many ways to slice and dice it.
Right.
One thing that caught my eye was this bill on purchase option for bundles.
Mm-hmm.
It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you bill for the whole bundle up front?
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It probably depends on the specific business model
Okay.
and what makes sense for both the company and the customer.
Right.
Some businesses might find that billing upfront leads to higher customer churn,
Okay.
while others might see it as a way to encourage larger purchases.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's all about finding the right strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's revenue recognition,
Right.
figuring out when you can actually claim the money you've earned.
Okay. Your source material seems to emphasize how BRM needs to play nice with accounting standards,
It does.
which are probably different depending on where you are in the world.
It's a reminder that BRM isn't just a technical system.
Right.
It has to operate within a larger financial and legal framework.
Makes sense.
And that can get pretty hairy,
Yeah.
especially for businesses operating in multiple countries or regions.
So what stood out to you about this whole financial side of BRM? I don't know. Honestly, it's the sheer complexity of it all.
Yeah.
It's easy to think of billing as a simple process.
Right.
You use a service, you get a bill.
Exactly.
But when you start peeling back the layers, you realize there's a whole universe of calculations, rules, and regulations going on behind the scenes.
So much going on under the hood.
It's fascinating, really.
I agree. And speaking of under the hood,
Yeah.
let's dive into some of the technical material you've included.
Okay.
Looks like you're going deep on rated events and re-rating. Those are some pretty core concepts in BRM.
Yeah. We're moving from the accounting department to the developer's den now.
All right.
It seems like you're interested in understanding not just what BRM does,
Yeah.
but how it actually works at a technical level.
Yeah.
And from the looks of this documentation, it gets pretty involved.
It does get pretty involved. You've got these developer guides that dive into rated events,
Okay.
which are basically the building blocks of billing data.
Got it.
Every interaction a customer has, a phone call,
Right.
data usage,
Right.
a
Okay.
purchase,
Right.
it all generates these rated events that need to be processed
Okay.
and ultimately turned into charges on a bill.
So it's like a digital trail of breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Except these breadcrumbs have dollar signs attached to them.
Exactly.
And I see you've got docs on the rated event manager,
Right.
which sounds like the tool that handles all these events.
It is.
There are even specific configuration parameters mentioned, like update or batch size and insert timeout seconds.
Those parameters are important
Okay.
for controlling how the system processes those events,
Okay.
how many are handled at once,
Right.
how long it waits before timing out.
Got it.
It's a balancing act, really.
Yeah.
You want to process events quickly and efficiently,
Makes sense.
but you don't want to overload the system.
It reminds me of that Goldilocks principle. Not too hot, not too cold,
Right.
but just right.
Just right.
And speaking of getting things just right,
Yeah.
you've also included some pretty deep material on re-rating.
Okay.
Why would you need to re-rate something that's already been billed?
Great question.
Yeah.
Re-rating comes into play when things change after the initial billing.
Okay.
Maybe there was a pricing error
Got it.
or a customer qualifies for a discount
Right.
they weren't originally given.
Makes sense.
Re-rating lets you go back and adjust those charges,
Okay.
making sure everything is accurate and up to date.
So it's like a do-over button for billing?
Yeah, you could say that.
But I imagine it can get messy,
It can.
especially if those charges have already been posted to the general ledger
Right.
or if payments have been made.
You're right.
Yeah,
It can definitely create some accounting headaches.
I bet.
The source material emphasizes the importance of handling re-rating carefully
Right.
to maintain data integrity.
Okay.
You don't want to end up with discrepancies between your billing system and your financial records.
That's a recipe for disaster.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about how the system handles individual charges,
Right.
but it's clear from your stack of sources that BRM is not an island.
No,
There's a lot here about integration with other systems.
a lot.
You've got the JCA resource adapter, Kafka integration, ECE.
Yeah.
What's the big picture here?
It seems like you're interested in how BRM fits into a larger ecosystem
Yeah,
of business applications.
exactly.
And that's really key because no modern business operates in a silo.
Right.
You've got customer relationship management systems,
Okay.
CRM, order management platform,
Right.
even real-time charging engines.
Yeah.
All these systems need to talk to each other
Mm-hmm.
to create a seamless experience for the customer.
So it's like a giant interconnected
Yeah.
web
Yeah.
with BRM at the center, pulling strings and making sure everyone gets paid.
Exactly.
And the JCA resource adapter is one way to make those connections happen.
It is.
It provides a standard way for Java applications
Yeah.
to interact with BRM.
Right.
We see mentions of different transaction modes,
Mm.
local transactions,
Right.
application managed transactions, even
Mm.
XA transactions.
Oh, yeah.
For those really complex scenarios
Yeah.
where multiple systems are involved.
XA transactions, those are intense.
They sound intense.
Imagine a scenario where a customer places an order online.
Okay.
That order triggers a whole chain of events.
Okay.
Inventory is updated.
Got it.
The order is fulfilled.
Right.
And, of course, the customer is billed.
Makes sense.
An XA transaction ensures that all those steps are treated as a single unit of work.
Oh.
If something goes wrong at any point,
Yeah.
the whole transaction can be rolled back,
Right.
preventing any inconsistencies.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want to bill a customer for something that wasn't actually delivered.
All right.
Or worse, accidentally give away free stuff
Okay.
because the billing system wasn't in sync.
Right. You need that tight coordination.
Yeah.
And it's not just about connecting to other systems.
Yeah. Okay.
Your source material also dives into customization options,
Oh, really?
like creating custom opcodes.
Okay.
Those are essentially functions that extend BRM's capabilities.
Got it.
If BRM doesn't do something you need out of the box,
Right.
you can teach it new tricks.
So if you have a really unique business process or pricing model,
Right.
you're not stuck with what BRM provides by default.
Exactly.
You can tailor it to fit your specific needs.
And there's even mention of converting FLIS specs into XSD schema files.
Okay.
Those are ways to define data structures and ensure that information is exchanged between systems in a consistent, unpredictable way.
Makes sense.
It's all about creating a flexible and adaptable system.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
We've gone from those foundational elements,
Okay.
installation, configuration,
Right.
managing customer interactions, to understanding how BRM handles charges
Yeah.
and integrates with other systems.
Right.
Now we're getting into the realm of customization and making the system truly your own.
It's like building a house.
Okay.
First you lay the foundation,
Right.
then you frame the walls and put on the roof.
Got it.
But then comes the fun part,
Okay.
choosing the paint colors, the flooring, the fixtures,
I like that analogy.
making it a home that reflects your unique style.
Okay, so we've covered JCA for connecting Java applications, but what about Kafka integration?
Oh, yeah.
That seems to be a big deal in your source material.
Kafka is all about handling real-time data streams. Instead of just storing information in a database
Right.
and processing it in batches,
Yeah.
Kafka lets you stream those events as they happen,
Okay.
opening up a whole world of possibilities.
So imagine you're running a telecommunications company
Okay.
and you want to track customer usage in real time.
Right.
With Kafka, you could stream those events to a dashboard.
Yeah.
That gives you an up-to-the-minute view of what's happening on your network.
Exactly.
You could trigger alerts if usage spikes, identify potential problems before they become major outages,
Right.
even feed that data into machine learning models to make predictions about future demand.
The possibilities are endless.
It's like having a crystal ball for your business.
It is.
Now, speaking of real-time capabilities,
Okay.
you've also included some documentation on the Elastic Charging Engine, or ECE.
Right.
It seems like ECE is like BRM's speedier cousin.
You could say that.
While BRM is great for managing complex billing logic and customer relationships, ECE is built for speed and handling high-volume transactions in real time.
Yeah, it shines in scenarios
Okay,
where you need instant feedback
got it.
and balance updates,
Right.
like online gaming or streaming services.
So if you're playing a game
Right.
and you purchase in-game currency, ECE could track that purchase,
Yeah.
update your balance,
Right.
and make sure everything is reconciled instantly.
Exactly.
No lag, no waiting for batch processes to catch up.
And your source material hints at some even more advanced features,
Oh, yeah.
like quota management,
Oh, yeah,
redirection rules based on customer conditions,
Got it.
even support for 5G network signaling.
Wow.
This thing is clearly built for the future.
5G, that's next level stuff.
It is.
It seems like ECE is designed to handle the demands of those really data-intensive, real-time applications that are becoming more and more common these days.
It is, and it's fascinating how BRM and ECE can work together
Yeah.
to create this comprehensive charging and billing solution,
Yeah.
catering to both traditional business models and those cutting-edge real-time applications.
It's like they're a dynamic duo,
Yeah.
each with their own superpowers,
Right.
but working together to conquer the complexities of revenue management.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got BRM handling the big picture
Right.
and ECE zooming in on those real-time interactions.
Yeah.
But what about when things go wrong?
You're talking about resilience
Uh-huh.
and high availability,
Yeah.
making sure the system stays up and running,
Right.
even when there are hiccups.
Makes sense.
Your sources mention clustering,
Oh,
data replication,
got it.
even migration procedures for failover scenarios.
Right.
It's clear that robustness is baked into ECE's DNA.
So if one part of the system goes down,
Yeah.
the other parts can pick up the slack,
Right.
ensuring that billing continues uninterrupted.
Exactly. For businesses that rely on real-time charging,
Mm-hmm.
any downtime can be disastrous.
Right.
ECE is designed to minimize those risks by employing various strategies to ensure continuous operation.
And it's not just about keeping the lights on, right?
Right.
I'm seeing some pretty sophisticated techniques mentioned here,
Yeah.
like asynchronous data replication
Mm-hmm.
and cluster quorum policies.
It's all about creating a system that's both fast and reliable.
So to recap, we've got BRM handling the big picture,
Right.
managing customers, contracts, that complex billing logic.
Exactly.
And we've got ECE zooming in on those real-time interactions,
Mm-hmm.
tracking usage, calculating charges, and keeping balances up to date.
It's a powerful combination.
Yeah.
And your deep dive has revealed how these systems are designed to work together seamlessly.
It really has.
It's clear that you're interested in understanding not just the individual pieces,
Right.
but how they all fit together to create a complete solution.
Absolutely. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
Uh-huh.
You need all the pieces in the right place to see the full picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of the full picture, you've also included some material on reporting and data analysis.
Right.
It seems like you understand that it's not just about collecting data,
Mm-hmm.
but actually making sense of it.
You're right. Data is only valuable if you can extract insights from it
Okay.
and use those insights to make better business decisions.
Right.
Your sources mention custom reports,
Got it.
data visualization tools,
Mhm.
even pre-built KPIs
Okay.
for monitoring system health and performance.
And it's not just about internal reporting either. There are examples of CDR generation.
Uh-huh.
Those are detailed records of customer usage
Right.
that can be shared with roaming partners or
Yeah.
used for data warehousing and analysis.
CDRs are like a treasure trove of information.
Oh,
They can reveal patterns in customer behavior,
oh.
help identify areas for improvement,
Right.
even inform the development of new products and services.
So we've gone from the nuts and bolts of installation and configuration
Yeah.
to the customer-facing aspects of billing, care, and collections. Mm-hmm.
Delved into the technical depths of rated events and re-rating,
Right.
explored the world of real-time charging with ECE,
Uh-huh.
and now we're circling back to the importance of reporting and data analysis.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been quite a journey.
And your deep dive has shown us the multifaceted nature of BRM,
Yeah.
demonstrating how it touches every aspect of a modern business.
But you know what's striking me now?
What's that?
Looking back at all this information, it's the human element.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about automation, efficiency, technical complexity.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
BRM is all about managing relationships
Uh-huh.
between businesses and their customers.
Right.
And that requires understanding not only the data,
Yeah.
but also the human needs and motivations that drives those interactions.
A profound observation.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in the technical details,
Right.
but ultimately BRM is about facilitating those exchanges of value.
Right. Those connections between businesses
Mm.
and the people they serve.
Exactly. And as BRM systems evolve,
Yeah.
It's crucial to keep that human perspective in mind.
It is.
How do we design systems that are not only powerful and efficient, but also fair, transparent,
Right.
and easy to understand
Yeah.
for the people who use them?
It's a challenge worth pondering
Yeah,
as we navigate this ever-evolving landscape of billing and revenue management,
a challenge indeed.
and one that will require both technical innovation
Right.
and a deep understanding of human behavior
Absolutely.
to address effectively.
Well said. And on that note, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Let's take a quick breather
Okay.
and come back for our final segment,
Right.
where we'll wrap up our exploration of this fascinating world of BRM.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into billing and revenue management.
We have.
We've talked about the customer side, the technical side, even the financial regulations.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, and your source material suggests you're not afraid to get into the details.
Well, I truly...
One thing that struck me as we were going through all this documentation is the emphasis on fine-tuning and optimization.
Yeah, it seems like squeezing every bit of performance out of these systems is a big deal.
It is.
Remember those configuration parameters we talked about earlier, like updater batch size and fetch size?
Oh, yeah.
Those are all about finding that sweet spot between processing data quickly
Right.
and not overloading the system.
It's like chinning a race car.
Okay.
You want to get the most out of the engine without blowing a gasket.
Right.
And it's not just about those individual settings.
Right.
Your sources also mention things like rearranging accounts to improve billing performance,
Yeah.
even using features like Delta Step to reduce contention at the database level.
So it's not just about tweaking knobs and dials.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how all the different parts of the system work together.
Right.
And finding ways to make them operate more efficiently. It's about taking a holistic approach to optimization.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is that your source material even includes specific BRM error codes,
Really?
like Peener storage and Peener translost.
Okay.
It's like they're giving you a roadmap for troubleshooting those inevitable bumps in the road.
It's like having a mechanic's manual for your billing system.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that you've got these resources at your fingertips means you're well equipped to not only understand BRM conceptually, but also to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty if something goes wrong.
You're not just a spectator, you're becoming a participant in this world of BRM.
I like that.
And speaking of getting involved,
Yeah.
your source material also touches on a crucial aspect that often gets overlooked:
What's that?
security.
Ah, yes, keeping all that valuable data safe and sound.
Right.
We see references to SSL configuration, WebLogic security best practices,
Yeah.
even role-based access control for managing user permissions.
It's clear that security is not an afterthought in BRM.
It can't be.
With sensitive customer information and financial transactions flowing through the system,
Right.
robust security measures are paramount.
Yeah.
It's about protecting the business,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about maintaining the trust of your customers.
And it's not just about keeping those external bad guys out, right?
Right.
I see a lot in here about internal controls,
Uh-huh.
things like file permissions, password encryption,
Right.
secure storage of sensitive configuration data.
The multi-layered approach to security, covering all the bases.
Absolutely. It's about minimizing risk from all angles.
It is.
And it's clear that BRM integrates with broader IT security practices.
Right.
We see mentions of things like Oracle Access Management and SAML2 authentication. Those are industry standard technologies for controlling access and managing identities.
Exactly.
So it's not just a standalone system with its own security bubble.
Right.
It's designed to be a responsible member of a larger security ecosystem.
And that's a key point, because security is everyone's responsibility.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not just the IT department's job to keep things secure.
Right.
It's something everyone who interacts with the system needs to be aware of and actively participate in.
Well said.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone from installation and configuration to customer management to technical deep dives on rated events and re-rating
Right.
to exploring real-time charging with ECE to
Yeah.
the importance of reporting and data analysis. And now we've landed on security.
It's been quite a comprehensive exploration of the BRM landscape.
It has, and your source material suggests you're aiming for a deep understanding of this field.
It does.
You're not just skimming the surface, you're diving into the depths, and that's what makes this so fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
BRM is a complex and multifaceted domain,
It is.
and your thirst for knowledge is impressive.
Well, I'm just trying to keep up with all the amazing stuff that's happening in this world of billing and revenue management.
And you're doing a great job.
It's been a pleasure joining you on this journey.
The pleasure's all mine.
We've unpacked a wealth of information, uncovered hidden connections,
Yeah.
and hopefully sparked some new ideas along the way.
That's what the deep dive is all about, helping you, our listeners, explore complex topics,
Right.
gain valuable insights, and come away with a deeper understanding of the world around them.
Absolutely.
So keep diving, keep learning, and keep asking those challenging questions.
Until next time.